I woke up to the sound of my own heartbeat struggling against the machines. Sharp, frantic, metallic. A nurse pressed a cold mask against my face, mumbling something about stabilizing my vitals. All I could think about was the phone buzzing weakly in my hand. Another call gone to voicemail. I tried again, redial, speaker shaking against my palm. Mom, please, I need you here. Nothing. Just the hum of the ICU lights buzzing overhead like distant wasps. By the time the surgeon leaned down to tell me I might not make it through the night, the truth hit harder than the accident itself. My parents, my own parents, weren't coming. Not because they didn't know, but because my sister was crying over paint colors. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Not wildly, not emotionally. More like a clean, quiet fracture. The kind that heals wrong if you don't set it straight. So I said it. That night, while machines breathed for me, I made my first call. Not to family, to my lawyer. And as I whispered the beginnings of the plan, my chest burning, I felt the first flicker of something close to peace. But to understand why the revenge was necessary, why it was satisfying, you need to know where the rot began. For years, I tried to believe my parents' favoritism was accidental. That my sister Claire's tantrums weren't a currency they rewarded. That their constant, "she needs us more than you do," wasn't a verdict on my worth. Growing up, I played the quiet role. The responsible one. The one who didn't set the house on fire because she didn't like the smell of dinner. I earned straight A's. Claire earned attention. I kept thinking if I stayed steady, they'd notice me, maybe even be proud. They noticed, all right, just enough to exploit. Just enough to rely on me when it was convenient, never when it mattered. But betrayal always hides behind routine until the moment it cuts through. The accident wasn't dramatic. No screeching tires, no fire. Just a blurred driver, a hydroplaning lane, a guardrail that chose not to hold. I called my parents from the ambulance. They picked up. They heard the sirens. They heard me choke on my own breath. And they still said, "We'll come as soon as we can, sweetheart." Claire's having a panic attack. The contractor brought the wrong sample board. Wrong. Gray Dove number 12 instead of Moonlight Mist number 3. A meltdown over paint. Hours passed. Night shifted. Pain blurred into something that felt like drowning inside my own ribs. I called again, and again, and again. Each one ignored. But it wasn't until the nurse offered to call them on my behalf, her voice edged with concern, that I heard the truth. "Ma'am, your daughter is in critical condition." A pause. "Oh, I see. Yes, I'll tell her." My mother had said, "Just text me updates. We're in the middle of something." That was it. That was the line that snapped the spine of whatever was left of our relationship. When I realized I might die without them even bothering to drive across town, rage didn't consume me. Clarity did. It slid into place slowly, methodically, like a surgeon preparing tools. I felt each piece lock in. If I didn't matter in life, I would matter in consequences. With trembling fingers, I told the nurse to bring me my bag. I took out the folder my lawyer always told me to keep close. The one containing every asset, every directive, every legal thread connected to me. Then I called him. I didn't need theatrics, just precision. We changed beneficiaries. We reassigned medical proxies. We rewrote power of attorney documents. Every line was a scalpel. Every signature a cut. By the time the sun scraped through the ICU blinds, the entire structure of my life had shifted. Away from them. My lawyer arrived before my parents did. A crisp suit. A sharper mind. He stood beside my bed like the guardian I never had. We reviewed everything twice. I initialed with slow, deliberate strokes, a pen trembling but determined. Only then did my parents finally decide to appear. They walked in with the offended expressions of people inconvenienced by someone else's tragedy. Claire wasn't even with them. She was home, recovering from stress. My mother gasped, hand to chest like she was auditioning for grief. My father tried to hug me. I didn't move. "Why didn't you call us again?" my mother demanded, as if my near death was a scheduling conflict. My lawyer stepped forward before I had to. "Mr. and Mrs. Rowan." I'm here at your daughter's request to update you on some legal changes. Confusion, annoyance, then the dawning awareness of impact. As he spoke, their faces drained. Estate removed. Medical authority revoked. Financial ties severed. And, the final blade, a legally documented statement outlining their failure to respond in a life-threatening emergency, filed in my records, attached to decisions that no longer included them. My mother stuttered. My father swore. I watched with a calm that felt almost holy. You rejected me when I needed you, I said quietly. This is just recognition of the truth. They looked at me like they'd never seen me before. Good. When they realized they had no legal right to make decisions about me, medical or otherwise, panic finally bloomed. For the first time in my life, they needed me, and I didn't need them. My father tried to demand explanations. My mother begged, tears clinging to her voice like old wallpaper. I just stared at the machines that had kept me alive when they didn't bother to. They answered, I whispered, motioning to the staff. You didn't. They left the room shattered. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. Recovery was slow, lonely, but honest. When I signed myself out weeks later, I walked out without notifying them. They'd find out from the staff just like they preferred. I didn't seek revenge to hurt them. I sought it to end the lie that they loved me equally. Now it's over. The debt paid. The ledger balanced. And if they ever wonder why I cut them out with such precision, they already know the answer. Because in the moment I needed a family, I only had myself.